The New York Yankees have been swept by the Boston Red Sox. They go into Fenway. They go in kind of hot, and they just get steamrolled. And they throw their ace out there yesterday to try and get it right. And whether it's the sticky stuff or not, he gets pounded, gives up 2 home runs in the first inning. He's basically over before it begins. What happened to the Yankees, and what should fans be thinking about right now?
Greeny, what happened to the Yankees is that they were themselves. They're like an average baseball team that has some strengths and that has too many weaknesses, and that when you stack them up against the other teams in the division, the Red Sox are better. They have proven that head-to-head, and as well as the rest of the season. The Rays are better. They proved that last year. They continue to prove that this year. And I think the Toronto Blue Jays are better, especially with George Springer back now. That lineup is something that the Yankees want to be, but aren't. And that, the crux of this comes down to the offensive side. The pitching's actually been decent this year, but on the offensive side of the ball, the Yankees can't hit, and they can't run, and they can't score. And that's the sort of thing, Greeny, that 70-plus games into the season probably ain't changing. So as much as Yankees fans want quick fixes, I'm not sure that one out there exists, and I'm not sure that they're going to do anything but play out the string this year and be a middling to slightly above average team that finishes 4th in the American League East.
Well, that would really be something. And, Jeff, I want to rewind the conversation about 2 months when the season was beginning, whenever that, 3 months, whenever it is the season started. And we were having conversations about how what's the last time we had a team that was as prohibitive a favorite as the Yankees were in the American League? That was the conversation before the season. You're now accurately describing a team that looks like it might finish 4th in its own division. How do we get from there to here?
I think it starts with injuries and underperformance. The fact that Corey Kluber's out, the fact that Jameson Taillon hasn't been what they were hoping for, that Luis Severino's not back and may not be back anytime soon. The starting pitching has been problematic there. But mostly it comes down to hitting. DJ LeMahieu signed a huge deal this offseason. He's got a 725 OPS. Luke Voit been hurt most of the season. Gleyber Torres has been terrible. Their outfield consists right now of Miguel Andujar, who's the third baseman, Aaron Judge playing center field. Come on. Like, Aaron Hicks got hurt, I understand, but he was terrible before that. And Clint Frazier. The most exciting part of the Yankees right now is that Gary Sanchez actually kind of looks like his old self, but even then, it's such a one-dimensional offense, Greeny, that you anticipated the Yankees were going to be able to outslug everyone. You just thought that would translate to runs, and it hasn't.
That's fair, and that's right, and it is a huge disappointment, and we'll see if it does continue to go this way, who or how someone winds up paying the price for it. Greeny with you, with Jeff Passan with me here. We're brought to you in part by Navy Federal Credit Union, proud to serve members of the Armed Forces, DOD, veterans, and their families. Our members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Quickly, the first pitcher ever to be thrown out of a game and I suppose suspended 10 games for the use of a foreign substance took place yesterday. Seattle's Hector Santiago. What's important about that? What should the fans be thinking relative to that, Jeff?
The fact that it took a week for someone to get suspended is probably a good sign that guys are cutting back, if not eliminating sticky substances altogether. I still think that the implementation mid-season is kind of ridiculous. I think, Santiago's particular situation, Greeny, highlights this very weird gray area. Let's say Hector Santiago was sweating and had rosin on his arm, and the sweat and the rosin dripped down his arm and into his glove hand. Now, I'm not saying that this is what happened, but he said, I was using only sweat and rosin. And if he's telling the truth here, and that's how it got down into his glove hand, and the violation was that it was in his glove, man, that is, it just shows how difficult enforcement of this actually is when the umpires don't know what they're looking at. They're just looking at it by touch and by feel, and in some cases by smell, oddly enough. And Major League Baseball is allowing the umpires to be the judge and the jury here, and 10-game suspensions are coming.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.